Mm, 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 mm.
Hey, hey.
I tell you what, if we're gonna do nothing, we're gonna dance.
Exactly. We are gonna dance. We are gonna get
Mhm.
it in. It's just starting off the episode with so much energy, laughter, light. We're
Mhm.
lighter, all of that good stuff. So welcome, y'all. Welcome to another episode 9.
9, girl. 9.
We are on episode 9, honey. We are knocking these episodes out. I hope you are enjoying them. If this is your first time, we are Real Women, Real Talk.
Mhm.
And I am your host, Shavon Carter. I am one of the facilitators for Real Women. And I am joined by my beautiful sister, who is.
I am Dr. Trenace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women. And we are at number 9, like speaking about labor. Like we birthing this baby. We
We
doing
are birthing this baby, honey. We are here every week. And I
it.
really, like I said before, I hope you're enjoying these episodes because it is an extension of Real Women and our sister circle. So we're giving you a sneak peek of what you can expect in a Real Women sister circle. We get deep. We have lighter moments, we laughed, but most of all, we connect with each other. So we
Mhm.
hope you're feeling that vibe as you're listening to each episode. And we hope that it is encouraging you to want to know more about us, who we are, because we are out here. RealWomenRock.org is our website. You can find out more about our sister circles, events that we have coming up, and all of that good stuff, and you can find out how you can take us with you where you live. So, all of that. So,
Well,
all of it. So, sister, let's get into our
mhm.
first segment, which is a real talk. How you
Mhm. Ooh, I'm on a nice little high. I'm staying up here. I
doing today? Okay.
think I think this week, this season for me, really focusing in on my health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
That even on the days that I'm not able to work out, I'm eating better.
Mm.
Don't do that. Why?
No,
You
that's
you
good.
said,
That's so
"Mm."
good.
No, I thought you was like, I ain't doing that. But like, oh,
No, I'm back on the horse. I'm back on track.
oh, good, 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 good. I'm glad. So we there.
Uh-huh.
I do. I'm more mindful of my stressful moments.
Mm.
So I'll be honest. That's when I decide, because all of this daggone Halloween candy is around. I'll do a little piece of chocolate and maybe 2 little pieces of chocolate
Yep.
instead of what I would normally do is just take a whole bag of something and eat it, or be mindless about my eating. I have been more mindful. And
Okay.
so, both about my eating and getting workouts in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying that because it means I'm prioritizing me,
Mm.
and it's one of the things that brings me joy.
Okay.
Yeah, to take care of myself, and
Mhm,
ultimately, to not indulge in something that's like, whether it's just chilling out, lounging, not doing anything, or
mhm.
eating the wrong foods and then feeling the afterward,
Right, right, yep.
Yeah. So I like feeling the aftermath of taking care of myself. So I'm good.
Mhm, 'cause
How
it
are
is
you? Oh, go
rewarding.
ahead.
Yeah, it is rewarding when you feel the aftermath and like, "Oh, I'm taking good care of myself today." Yeah. So you feel in
Mhm.
alignment with yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
good. That's a good word.
how am I doing?
Mhm.
I'm feeling, grounded. That's how
Mm.
I'm doing right now,
Mhm.
and I'm feeling connected, especially
Mm.
to my inner child.
Yeah.
Because I recently came back. I know by the time this episode airs, it'll be, a little later, but I recently came back from Orlando. I went to Disney World
Aw,
for Halloween. Oh my
nice.
goodness. And let me tell you, I can't remember the last time I went to Disney World. So it's been a while, even though I'm from Florida. I'm
Mhm.
from Jacksonville, and Orlando is about 2 hours away, but it's still been a long time since I've been to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they absolutely create a fantasy experience. Like, it is
Wow.
magical. It is,
Mhm.
they
It is
don't
the
call it
Magic Kingdom
Magic
for a
Kingdom,
reason.
you
Yep.
know? They don't call it Magic Kingdom for nothing, because I was
Mhm.
so excited just to see the sign. It's something about the Mickey ears, and honey, I saw the sign and I was like, "Oh my God, we're going to Disney World." I had on my little costume, right? I had on my little costume because it was like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, so you
Mhm.
could dress up if you wanted to. So I had on my little ninja costume, and we got there. We got on the little train that takes you to the air tram to take
Mhm.
you into Magic Kingdom, and you get there and you see this big castle, and it's lit up because it was at night. So I was like, "Oh my God, it's a castle!" And I was so happy. The little girl in me was ecstatic. We had our little
Mhm.
bags with I got my bag right here, but it's filled with stuff. But and we
Mhm.
had our candy. We go to the little stations and you trick or treat, and they just dump candy in your
Yeah.
bag. Oh, we got on the rides without long waits. It was like less than 30 minutes. So if you ever want to go to Disney World, go during one of these special events, because it's not as many people. They sell limited tickets, and it's just
Mhm.
a great experience. So I am great. I just feel so good.
That is so much fun. It's like the little girl in you was able to just explore and be
Yes.
herself and just be out here. I
I'm
love
telling
it.
you, I'm telling you. So I wanted to share that, because real talk, before we go into our next segment, I just
Mhm.
want to know from you,
Mhm.
like, what's something that excites the little girl in you?
Even just the thought of it, it's like, oh, what do I
I
like? What do I like? I promise I'm gonna answer it. I'm a preacher, so I go all the way around.
That's all right. Take us on a journey. We're going on a journey. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna take a Baptist minute. I'm about to close. So, okay, what you just made me think about was our Real Women Intensive that just
Okay.
happened a
Yes.
little while ago, and how every facilitator brought up the word joy, and
Yes.
how we have to find joy in our lives wherever that takes us,
Mhm.
and that we have begun within our journey stations. You got to come to an intensive to experience it, but
Mhm.
within our journey stations we now always include this play, that you get to do something that maybe your inner child, your little girl, would enjoy. So things like dressing up dolls, or
Mhm.
coloring, or like we put that out there, some childhood games, because we recognize the importance of what you just said, like to tap into that little girl, because it um it causes joy to like jump out of you,
Yes.
and
Yep.
just overtake you. And I think that's so needed in the world we live in.
Mhm.
So okay, so what brings me joy? I told you I was coming back. um So the first thing I thought of, and people who know me know, people who don't are gonna think I'm the craziest thing, but of course, the first thing I thought of was frogs.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna say frogs. Okay. All right.
Let me tell you, because the first exposure I had to frogs, which I didn't even put this together after in my older years started liking frogs. It was later when I put this together. But like the Princess and the Frog storyline from the fairy tales, where the girl kisses the frog and he turns into the prince. And I've seen those, and love those kind of fairy tale stories as a little girl.
Mhm.
And then later in life, I really just appreciated first frogs, but anything that other people didn't. I was like, that's the underdog.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't like. And,
Yeah.
there's beauty in it somewhere and all of that. And
Mhm.
then on another level, like the metamorphosis that they go through, how they
Mhm.
start off as one thing and they turn into something completely different when they evolve and transform, but where they end up was always inside of them when they started
Mm.
in a
Come
totally
on.
different state. Listen, girl, like all of that, like takes me somewhere. So
Yeah.
when I'll start with the real frogs because that's usually where people are like, ugh. But when I see real frogs, I'm like, oh, look at you. Don't hop away. Don't hop away. Let me touch you. Let me touch you. And I'll go chasing after it and I'll try to take a picture and like all of that. Just the little girl in me. You know how little kids will see something and they just go
They
running for it.
right,
That's me.
right.
That's me when it comes to frogs. But then with all of the figurines and I'm a yogi, so frogs, there's a frog pose in
Mhm.
yoga,
Mhm.
and so a lot of the frogs in figurines, they have the poses and they're doing all the things. So all of those just bring me joy. Like they
Mhm.
make me smile. The reason why I like frogs is they make me smile. They
Wow.
represent a whole lot of other things, but they make me smile. And then the
Mhm.
last thing, you got me so excited. The last thing that I thought of was coloring. I love to color. And I'm
Yeah.
not an artist by any means. If
Yeah.
they're not lines that I can color inside
Uh-huh.
of, it's not going to look cute. But I just love colors in general. And I love it puts me back into my childhood to be able to color. So it was revolutionary for me when they came out with these adult coloring books and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. I love that. So that's what excites me.
I love that. When you mentioned coloring, what I thought about was just for me choosing not to color in between the lines. Because it's like, look, I
Mhm.
want to color outside. I
All
know this is
over.
how you made it, but I want to do outside. It's so representative of my personality, but yes.
So is. And you know what's crazy is as much as I enjoy it, I'm the person that traces the outsider of it and then tries to make sure I'm inside the line.
I love it. It's like,
But I'm having fun.
it's fine because you can, if you've laid on the floor and you hold your feet up and you like, color like you were a little kid with your feet up.
Listen, under this right now, I'm kicking my feet while we talking.
I'm telling you, this fun.
Okay, I got one more.
Okay.
Do you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books? Did you ever read
Mm.
those? Oh
No.
my God. Somebody in the chat has got to be as excited as me and put this in the chat. Please, please, please put it in the post and just email us, whatever you got to do, info
Yeah.
at realwomenrock.org. But they're and they still have them in the
Okay.
library
Uh-huh.
where the book would start off telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then one page would say, do you think Billy should do this or should he do this next?
Mm-hmm.
If you think he should do this, turn to page 7. If you think he should do this, turn to page 9. And so in one book, you could have like 5, 6, 10 different storylines because you got to choose the next step for the character.
Oh, that's
Girl,
dope.
so listen, in one of our next sister circles, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring a couple of those just so that
Yeah.
we can, when we have a little fun, that might be, you know what, that might be something we do for the holidays, just with real women, where we
Yeah.
just have a game, girly little girl in you, bring her out
Yeah.
kind of thing. That
Because
would be
now I wanna choose. I wanna see what the adventures are, and I wanna play. Like you just
fun.
made me want to play the adventure game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go get some from the library. That's exciting.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is a good topic. I love this real
Fun.
talk. This is good.
Yes. So, y'all, if you're out there, whether you're a man or a woman, I really want you to think about, if you don't do it already, thinking about tapping into your inner child. Like, find exciting things to do. We are adulting is ghetto sometimes. So just
Ghetto.
find something that taps into the little person in you, where you're doing something that brings you joy, that's light, that's fun, that's, playful, that kind of stuff, because it really does brighten your day. Mm-hmm.
I'm still kicking under the table.
It's like, yes, exactly. I love it.
Mhm.
So that was, our real talk segment. And now we want to flow into deep dive. We want to jump in the water and swim a little bit, a little
Mhm.
deeper under the surface, to talk about something that may be expounding on a nugget from a Real Women Sister Circle, or just something that has resonated with us throughout the week that we want to share with you and talk about together. So, are you ready, sister?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
All right.
Ready.
I'm gonna pose the question, and then I'm gonna go into where it comes from, and then give you an opportunity to share. But the question that I have is, how do you know when it's time to make a major shift in your life?
Ooh.
Whether it be job, location, or relationship change, something that is major that requires a shift.
That's good.
So, while you're thinking about it, this came up for me because I celebrated 1 year of being in my new home on October 31st. Yay. And this was so monumental for me. And I feel
Mhm.
like I'm getting emotional already, because it was
Mhm.
such a spiritual shift for me.
Mhm.
So where I moved from, I was living in the DC metro area. I was living in a condo. It was my very first condo that I purchased by myself. We were talking about independent. I bought my own home. Um, and I was living there for 15 years. And it was like my little safe haven. It was one of those things where we're talking about manifesting. I always said I wanted to live in a condo with a loft. And with these spiral stairs that goes up to the loft. So that was always a thing that I always said after watching Love Jones. I watched Love Jones, and I wanted a condo with a loft just like that.
Right.
So when I saw this one, I was like, I gotta have it. It had spiral stairs that went up to the loft area of the 2 bedroom. It was really cute and cozy, and just for me.
Mhm.
I lived there for 15 years. And I got really comfortable. I'm by myself. I'm good. When I got married, he moved into that place with me. So it was our place together. When we got divorced, he moved out. It was still,
Mhm.
where I resided. And it was also a place where so much healing took place. Like, it was
Mhm.
the space when I started going to therapy and just going through a divorce, and really getting in touch, in tune with who I am.
Mhm.
So it represented so many things for me. So I was there for 15 years. And then I just started to feel like, I think it's time to go.
Mhm.
Like, and I had felt that feeling for a number of years, but it just didn't feel like the right time. Like,
Mhm.
upside down in my mortgage, so I would have had to do a short sale. My finances weren't in order the way I wanted them to be, and it just didn't feel right.
Mhm.
But then last year, it just seems like things started to shift. It started to turn.
Mhm.
The market changed. I was building equity in the home. I cleared out my debt, got my student loans forgiven. Hallelujah.
Mhm. Hallelujah.
Paid off my car, just did a whole lot of things to prepare for what I felt, was what I was feeling as far as moving. But I didn't move right away. And
Mhm.
so I noticed how it started to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It started with my neighbors moving, neighbors that had been there just as long as I had been there, where I felt comfortable being around them. They started moving out. And then it was like I was one of the last ones that was left. A cat, several cats started pooping on my doorstep, like right at my door. I have a neighbor that's right across the hall from me, nobody else's door but mine. So I started to experience that. And I just started to feel this internal
Girl.
nudging to say, it's time for you to go. And I think
Mhm.
cat poop was the catalyst that really pushed me to start the
They was
process.
coming and giving you a sign.
It was such a bizarre experience, but I'll stop there before I go into, where I'm living now. But that's how I knew it was time for me to shift. There was this internal tugging and some external things that were happening that confirmed for me that it was time to go. So what about you, sister?
Woo, that
Mhm,
was so much. Oh my gosh, so
mhm.
good. What comes to mind while you were talking is two things, because you
Okay.
asked me, how do I know when it's time to make a major shift?
Mhm, mhm,
One connects directly to what you said,
mhm.
and so I'll do that one first.
Okay.
I think about, we just finished talking about change of a frog, right? My
Yeah.
other favorite animal as it relates to metamorphosis is a butterfly.
Mhm.
We ended up using a butterfly as the theme of one of the books that we created together, that
Mhm.
wrote and you helped us publish.
Mhm.
Because a butterfly starts off as a caterpillar and ends up in this cocoon.
Mhm.
And in the cocoon, not only do they change, but they change internally and get to the point where, as they are changing in their cocoon,
Mhm.
they grow inside of the cocoon until it is so uncomfortable in the
Mm.
cocoon that they have to break free and get out.
Come
Like,
on.
have to get out because they can't take it in there anymore. And they
Wow.
need space and room to grow. And everything you just described, it was like the uncomfortability
Yes.
of being in the same space that made you comfortable for so long.
So long.
When it became uncomfortable, when it became suffocating, or when it
Mhm.
became like it was bound, like you were bound
Yes.
instead of free
Yes.
inside of this space, whatever that space is, then that's when I think it's time to shift.
Mm,
When
mm,
it
mm,
hurts, when it's uncomfortable, when signs both internally and externally are making it clear, I
mhm.
think, that's when you're feeling that pull and that
Mm.
stretch
Yeah.
inside of you, then those are signs.
Yeah.
Can I go all the way on the other side?
Absolutely. Yes.
How do I know when it's time for me to make a shift?
Mhm.
When I want to.
Come on. Come on.
Like, I think we complicate things
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
both are true.
Yes.
Both are true.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just, what do I want to do?
Come
What do I
on.
want to do? Because we look for affirmation from so
Yeah.
many places.
Yeah.
Confirmation and affirmation, like we're looking for somebody or something to tell us that we're
Yeah.
making the right decision. And we just talked about it in the last episode. Trust
Mhm.
yourself.
Yeah.
So when the hell I want to, that's when. Because here's the thing, right?
That's
And then
so good to
I'm gonna
me.
give it back
Yes.
to you. Here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
We act like there's only one choice in the world to be made, and we got to find that one choice. We act
Yes.
like there's only one road we got to go down, and if we going down any other road than the one that's got our
Mhm.
name on it, we going down the wrong road. We act
Yeah.
like there's only one person in the world for us. We
Yeah.
got to find the one. And if we
Mm-mm.
don't find the one, then we can't get married.
Yeah.
We can't be in a relationship. The devil is a lie.
The big fat one. Yeah.
God
Uh-huh.
gave me faculty. He gave me intelligence. He gave me thinking ability. I mean, if you want to take it to a biblical, he gave me dominion. So
Yes.
I have the right to choose.
Mm.
And all I'm doing at the end of my choice is living with the reward or the consequences of my decisions.
Come on.
There is no one externally that's punishing me. I don't believe in a God of punishment.
Mm-mm.
And I don't. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Right.
I believe that God gives us free will and free choice. And then
Mm.
there are consequences
That
and
come
there
with.
are rewards
Yep.
for our actions.
Mm.
Every choice has pros and cons to it. Every choice is going to cost us something or
Mm-hmm.
pay us something. And how it levels out is what we get to choose. Because
Yeah.
I want to. I get
Because
to
I
choose
want to.
because I want to.
Let me tell you how that is so good to me, because that is the truth, right? It's one of those things where it doesn't have to be so deep. Like, I know I started with this deep example, and for me, it was such a stuff had to happen like that in order for me to move, because I was so comfortable, right?
Yep.
And so we have both
Both
and
ways.
there are times when it's
Yep.
just like, you know what? I just want
Yep.
another job. It doesn't have to be like that, you know?
Mhm.
So I love both sides of the coin, because
Yep.
it just depends on where you are in your life and how you choose to move. So I love that.
Yeah. I think it literally is both and. I
Yeah.
believe I am, this is us, right? We are this and that. We are
Yep.
just as righteous as we are ratchet. And
For
so
sure. For
I
sure.
really honestly believe that it can be God sending signs,
Yes.
and it can also be, depending upon the moment, depending upon
Right.
the situation, depending
Hmm.
upon where I am in
Yep.
my life and in my thought process and in my spiritual thought life. It can also be I get to choose, and
Yep.
so it's both and.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
want to share on the other side. So I talked about where I lived and the discomfort and where I needed to move from. I want to share the beauty of the shift, right? When you
Mhm.
lean into the shift, the beauty of it that I'm experiencing. So, like I said,
Mhm.
I'm in my home, a home that I built, not with my own hands, but it is a home that I got built from the ground up. And it is
Mhm.
something that I've never done before.
Mhm.
But just like you just said, I got to choose what happened in here, what it looked
Mhm.
like in here.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
wanted to choose, I wanted to create a home that really felt like it was mine from the
Mhm.
beginning, and not just a home that pre-existed that I was moving into. So making the decision to do a new construction home was just like, you know what? I want it all to be new. I want all things new. So that was huge for me. And then 1 year later, I am so in love with this home. Like,
Mhm.
it was just when I walked into the model home, I was mesmerized, captivated by how it looked. It's just so beautiful. It's so airy,
Mhm.
it's so open. And 1 year later, I walk around here and I'm just like, I just love my house. I just love it, you know? And
Girl,
I
can I just
still
interrupt you and say,
feel like it.
all of
Yes.
us, all of us love your house too. We all love your house.
Oh my God, it's just something about it. When people walk in, they're like, wow, this is so nice. It just feels so
Mhm.
clean and pure. And
Mhm.
I wasn't really into decorating, but when I moved here, like, I decorated, like, I took on a whole new just personality, I feel like. And it was
Mhm.
a testament to, I feel, the work that I was doing on myself. And it was time, like you said, the discomfort, it was time for me to just break loose and experience something else, a new environment. And that's how it feels on the other side. And I feel like it's one of the best decisions that I
Mhm.
have made. And so if you are wrestling with something, if you're struggling with something, if you're trying to figure out whether you need to move or not, I just want to let you know, on the other side of that decision, maybe, it'll be
Mhm.
the best thing that you've ever done in your life. So just try it and see, because you won't know
Ooh,
until you.
you don't know until you try. On the other side. That's
Yes.
good to me. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing that one. That was a good deep
Mhm.
dive.
Yeah, yeah. So just move, y'all. Just try. You won't know if it's something tugging at you, or if you just want to make a decision to do it. You know,
Mhm. You
don't
get to
really.
choose.
You get to choose. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you, sister, for indulging me in that deep dive because
That was
I
good.
just feel so good
Mhm.
about it. So,
That was a good one.
all right. Okay. So, are you ready to put yourself in her shoes?
I'm ready. I love these. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, our next segment is Put Myself in Her Shoes, where we discuss current events or a scenario where you get to put yourself in another person's shoes.
Hmm.
So, today we're going to talk about Tiffany.
Okay.
Tiffany fell on hard times financially, and her sister Sheena loaned her some money, and Tiffany has already paid her $400 of, I believe, the 1,000 that she owed her, and she
Okay.
plans to pay the remaining 600 by Christmas.
Okay.
So, a radio station in their area was holding a free contest for people to win $1,000. So Tiffany entered her name and all of her family members. She was like, somebody gonna
Oh,
win.
yeah.
Y'all to
Aw.
get in this. Right.
Hmm.
So Sheena's name was the one that was called. So Tiffany's sister, Sheena, her name was the one that was called to win the prize.
Hmm.
So Tiffany called Sheena because Sheena wasn't listening to the radio. She didn't know. So Tiffany called her to let her know that she had won. And Sheena
Hmm.
was just excited. Of course, you're winning $1,000.
Yeah.
So the question is, sister, putting yourself in her shoes, both of their shoes,
Both of their
is
shoes.
it acceptable to ask Sheena, the sister, to consider the money she won from the radio as Tiffany's debt paid? Especially since Sheena wouldn't have known about the contest had Tiffany not entered her name, and she won more than what Tiffany owed her. So putting yourself in Tiffany and Sheena's shoes, what do you think?
She better have my money. Pay me what you owe me. No. Okay. Okay. So thinking for both women. Okay. So,
Uh-huh.
so first I'm gonna be Sheena.
Mhm.
And if I were Sheena and I just won this money,
Mhm.
to be very honest with you, my thought process would be, baby girl, sister Tiffany,
Mhm.
if you had wanted this money, potentially if I won, to be your debt paid, we should have agreed on those terms before I
Yeah.
won this money.
Right.
Because I don't feel like this money, unless we discussed it, has anything to do with the debt you owe me.
Mhm.
That's that would be my first thought.
Okay.
My my next thought is I really try not putting myself in Sheena's shoes. I
Mhm.
try not to lend money that I have to have back.
Right.
Even if I say it's a loan, or if you tell me you're gonna pay me back and I say okay,
Mhm.
I'm really, if you never pay me, I'm probably not gonna hunt you down for it
Mhm.
because I gave it because I could,
Mhm.
and I don't, I don't, I don't want to chase money that I've put out in the world. I would rather it be goodwill out there in
Mhm.
my name, right?
Mhm.
So my next thought after that, because I would have been thinking, let's have a thought. thought she gonna put my name out there, and that's worth $600. Like, baby, you just put my name out on the
Right.
radio. You didn't pay $600 to do it.
You said I'm supposed to have $1,600.
So that would be my first and second thought. Probably should not have been expecting it anyway.
Mhm.
So as Tiffany, because Tiffany entered the name. So as Tiffany, I guess I had I been Tiffany, I would have hoped to have had the conversation in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be understanding if she still expected me, because I said I was going to pay her by Christmas. And
Mm-hmm.
all I could do, maybe ask, can we, but if we can't, I
Yeah.
gotta pay you what you gave me.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my thought. What about
Okay.
you?
I love it. I love it. Okay. Putting myself in their shoes. Okay, I'll start with Tiffany. If I'm
Mhm.
Tiffany, I wouldn't have posed that scenario. Like I wouldn't have been like, so can this be the money I owe you? Because I would have wanted my sister to bring it up to say that. If she didn't,
Yeah.
I would have just been like, okay, you got the 1,000 and I'm gonna still owe you the 600, just the way my mind works.
Mhm.
If she would have posed it, okay, great, girl. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
So that's how I would have handled that situation. On Sheena's side, let's say if Tiffany did pose that, I'm passive aggressive. So I wouldn't, I would be like, oh, okay, but I wouldn't give her no more money.
Mhm.
So that'll be
Mhm.
the first and last time that Tiffany would get money, because I don't want to. It's just,
Mhm.
even though she gave me 400 of the 1,000, like she's working on paying me back, so I feel like she would pay it back. It's just
Mhm. Mhm.
I really wanted 1,600,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I won this 1,000. This was a blessing, along with the 600 that you owe me. So, I would just write it off. It's like, okay, girl, I appreciate it. Thanks for putting my name in, but you're not getting no more money from me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So this helps me remember something, real talk.
mm-hmm,
So you and me are supposed to be going somewhere soon with
mm-hmm.
our booze,
Oh, right, right,
and
right.
I'm gonna pay you tomorrow.
But I don't be tripping off stuff like that. It's just like, okay, they'll get it to me whenever. I don't be tripping.
No, that was
Boy.
hilarious. That just came to mind. And I was like, shoot, I owe Shavon some money.
But I don't be tripping off stuff like that. It's like people, I just know she gonna give it to me. Like it's never happened like that before.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
be
But
tripping off that.
no, but can I say something serious about that? Like,
No.
I mean, this scenario is so good and real because we end up in these kind of scenarios with
Mm-hmm.
real sisters, with with sister friends, with
Mm-hmm.
family members. And so I think communication is so important. Like it
Yes.
is just so important. And one of the ways I think, and we talk about this in Real Women, but since
Yeah.
it's me and you up here, I just want to say one thing that I think has worked for us
Mm-hmm.
as sisters, that we have been able to do business together
Yes.
and still remain sisters, like
Yes.
as
Mm-hmm.
close as any family member is to
Yeah.
each other. We are, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's because we take our debts very seriously.
Yes.
We take our agreements and our word very seriously. If
Mm-hmm.
just because you're my sister does not mean I don't treat you professionally as a
Right.
partner in
Yep.
business. I honor
Mm-hmm.
my commitments.
Mm-hmm.
We write things up as agreements to
Yep.
just hold each other accountable. And I think if we never wrote anything up, we would still hold each other accountable. But the
Yes.
fact that we do that
Mm-hmm.
is because we respect and honor each other,
Mm-hmm.
and the investment that we make in our time, in our energy, in our finances. And so
Mm-hmm.
in any space, communication is key.
Yeah.
That you say what your expectations are, so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have unsaid expectations that end up being unmet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You speak about it as much as you can beforehand, so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't end up in a situation where it wasn't said, so
Mm-hmm.
we didn't, it was unclear what was going to
Yeah.
be the agreement. I just think that's so important, communication.
I think so too. And the reason why I said I wasn't tripping on it is because we've had, like, I know your heart. I know the dealings that we've had before. You know what I mean? So that does
Mhm.
play a part, the relationship beforehand, and the
Mhm.
agreements that we make. So that makes it easier, when
Mhm.
things happen. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe if I was Sheena
Mhm.
and Tiffany was always good with her money with me,
Mhm.
like maybe that would play a part
Yeah.
in it. But I'd be thinking, pay me what you owe me.
Don't have my money.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Yes. So y'all tell us what you would do. If you were Tiffany, you were Sheena, what would you do? Put yourself in their shoes and let us know. Whether it be writing us in the comments on YouTube, sending us an email, info@realwomenrock.org, hitting us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok now.
Mm-hmm.
We're on
We
TikTok.
on TikTok.
So let us know what your thoughts are. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So we
That was
are in the last segment of our show, which has gone by so fast, but I have had a great time with you, sister. Thank you for your energy.
This is wonderful. Thank you for yours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the spiritual nugget, where you leave something, or I, because
Mhm.
last episode I had my
Listen,
spiritual nugget. So
listen. I
where
think
we
it's
leave
going to end up
something.
being something not only that we share,
Okay.
like maybe rotate back and forth,
Yeah.
but also I think, God is doing something. We got some corporate spiritual nuggets going on, I feel like.
Hmm.
Because honestly, this one it came from the conversation, which I like for it to do,
Hmm.
but I have an image of you in mind when I think about this.
Okay.
So, my spiritual nugget is lean into freedom.
Mm.
Okay. Just going to use those three words and expound on them a little bit. But lean, I literally, if you feel it when you're hearing this, literally just lean into freedom. Just lean into it because whether it is feeling free to be the little girl and let out the inner child in you and experience some joy that you have not experienced before, just to allow it to burst out of you. Lean into freedom. Whether
Mm.
whether it is a major shift in your life that you have always thought about taking but never moved forward with it out of fear or feeling like, out of that scarcity mentality, I don't have enough of this or that to do it. Lean into the freedom of choice. You get to choose. You get to choose.
Mm.
Lean into freedom. And I have this visual picture of you, and I was not there, but I got to see the pictures afterward
Mhm.
when you were on that plane all by yourself with those folks and you were up in the air thousands of miles up and you got on tandem with that man
Yes.
and you leaned in and was, I can imagine, the freest you have ever been
God.
when
Yes.
you jumped out of that plane.
Mm, mm, mm,
And when you talked earlier about on the other side of making a choice
mm,
that works for you, that feels right, that moves you from discomfort to what's on the other side of freedom, that there's more over there.
mm,
There is freedom over there. Like
mm,
lean in, as scary as it is, lean in so that you can experience your next level, your next depth, your next breadth of freedom. I
mm.
saw you. I saw while you were talking, I saw you jumping out of that plane, out of that
Oh my God.
plane.
And when you said that, before you mentioned that example, that's the image that came to my mind. So,
I
oh
saw it.
my God. Yes. Yes.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm,
Yes. It was the most
mhm,
liberating experience and symbolic of how I should live my life. So
mhm,
I totally get that. I totally get that. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
Mm.
So that spiritual nugget came from you, child, because I thought the whole time, like as we were talking, and you're sharing in the deep dive, kind of what this year has been like for you,
Yeah.
and just because we are in like doing life together, we get to see seasons of our lives kind of, shift and transition in.
Yes.
And we're taping this in the fall season where I don't know why I'm doing all of this talking. It's supposed to be a really short spiritual nugget.
That's all right. Come on with it.
But but there's like this transition in the season right now for us. There's you just don't know from day to day whether it's going to be cool weather or warmer weather, but it's the fall season, right?
Yeah.
And so what we would expect to happen in this season is not necessarily what's happening. And so just lean into the freedom of it don't have to happen the way you expect. It don't. For it to be your season of abundance, it can look totally different than it has looked before. Or it could be your season of joy. It doesn't have to be with a man or a woman or a partner. It could be you enjoying you. Like, just really expect the unexpected and lean into freedom.
Yes. Yes, y'all. Yes.
Say la.
Say la. Oh, that was so good to me. And I hope that you felt that. Like, feel the energy coming from this episode, from the words that are shared, and really look at where you can apply it in your life. Where can you create those opportunities to lean in? Yeah. So tell us all about it.
I'm still kicking my legs.
Yes. Just that childlike energy. We need more of that, y'all. Life is too serious. We just gotta fly.
Lean into joy and freedom.
Jump out the plane and fly with a man on your back with a parachute.
That's right. Have a plan.
Have a parachute.
Have a
Right.
parachute.
Skydiving. That's what I'm talking about. When you're gonna land.
Right.
This is so good. This was so good. Thank y'all so much. This has been another episode, another amazing episode of Real Women, Real Talk, because we are truly real women.
And real women really talk.
They do. Like, seriously.
Do some real talk.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
Talk to y'all later. Bye.